So why are you writing the book now?
Oh, gosh. I was pressured to write it a long time ago. Everybody wanted me to write it after the E! True Hollywood story came out, and do this expose on, Saved by the Bell, and I was like, oh my goodness, what are they going to show? What did they dig up? And then it aired, and I'm biting my nails at the edges of the couch watching it for an hour, and at the end of the hour goes by, and they showed nothing. They showed nothing. None of the horrible accidents that happened, none of the, rape accusations that happened to cast members. I mean, nothing aired. Nothing, none of the gossip. All the romances and hooking ups and stuff, none of it made it to air. So it was just one of those things where I was like, this is really strange. All my friends called me up afterwards. They're like, what about this time when this happened? Remember when I was invited to the set and this happened? People were asking all these questions. When Mario was accused of rape, like I said, that was a huge ordeal, where he was panicking, and I was like, wow, did he do it? Did a girl, is she just out trying to swindle him, or what happened? And NBC had to deal with that, and that was the trying time, and that didn't make it when Mark Paul did Circus of the Stars, and wanted to do the trapeze and fell off the trapeze, shut down production for 6 months because he missed the net, fell and landed on his neck, broke his chest, broke his sternum with his chin, and we thought he killed himself. I mean, it was that could have been the end of the whole show. It was, it forever changed what we could and couldn't do. Mark Paul got into skydiving later, and Peter wouldn't have any of it, and we couldn't do anything dangerous. Peter wanted to govern, all kinds of stuff, how fast we drove and what we drove, and it was nothing was aired. And not just that. Everyone's saying, "Dude, you got to write a book." You knew all the stories. You were there. The fans really all want to know the same thing: who hooked up with who, and who. I get asked that: who was hooking up with who backstage more often than I get asked my name. I mean, I hear that more than I hear hello. And doing stand up 47 weeks out of the year. For over 10 years or whatever, I've been doing, I've gotten that question probably 1 billion times a year. Thousands and thousands and thousands of audience members I take pictures with and sign autographs for at the end of the shows, and they come up, hey, so 12 years old, played romance, tell us what it was like. So who were you hooking up with? Who was sleeping with who? So with the drugs, what were the parties like? So tell us. The public apparently really, really wants to know, and I'm not that surprised. Saved by the Bell was a kind of, a big show with the Partridge Family, and Brady Bunch had their moments. I mean, you watch the E! True Hollywood story of Different Strokes, and you want to hang yourself. It's so depressing, all the bad things that happen. And so, as the community, looking back, and I figured there were things that people need to know. I wanted to answer all these questions because I'm tired of trying to answer them and send them off, at the end of every show at every night. Now I can just say, hey, buy the book. I'll sign it for you, and now I don't have to answer it anymore. But everybody on the internet, there's so many rumors and so many things people think, because I did Celebrity Fit Club, that's all scripted, I was playing the bad guy. That's the whole point. Get ratings, and then next week, and that's why they brought me back for the next season. That's why the show didn't fail after the 5th season. I got 2 more out of it. But people see that, and they're like, you're really nice. We thought you were going to be a jerk. And they say, why? Well, because we saw that show. It's all scripted, man. It's like the real world. None of that's real. Have you ever been in a house with 5 strangers? It's boring. Nobody talks to each other. Everybody goes off and does their own thing. There's not always hot. But you know what? Today's day and age, everybody wants to live vicariously. Everyone wants the dirt. Who cares if Angelina Jolie is adopting another Asian baby? Who cares if Jennifer Aniston is back with Brad Pitt, or if her nipple popped out in Peru while she was on the beach with Jennifer Love Hewitt, and some guy sold it for $150,000 because he hung in a tree for 8 days and happened to snap the winning photo? I mean, everyone today is so hung up inside, Edition and Access Hollywood and Extra and, the E! True Hollywood Story, the other half, The View, even these magazines. Ooh, the stars of Twilight. Oh, there's romance going on behind the scenes. Ooh, look, the guy glitters in the sunlight. We get it. Let them be. Let them have some peace. So, I figured, everyone tried to make it out what's this book going to be about? Oh, if it's him and he's bad on the bad boy on Celebrity Fit Club, he must hate the world. He's angry, and stand-up isn't televised. Unless you do a 1-hour special, and that's when that 1 hour's up, you're still on the road touring and stuff. But if it's not televised, people think you're not working, except for the clubs that see you. So, 47 weeks, I'm out there doing stuff, and people don't see it on TV, and they're thinking, oh, well, he must be doing this for money, or he's doing it for, he's going to just get out there and slam everybody, and he's bitter. And no, not at all. I live a great life. I get to think about it. Stand up. I have no boss. I work like an hour or two a day, and make what most people make in a week. And I get to drink on the job. I get to say whatever I want. It's not a bad gig, and it's perfect for a performer, And in this book, I try to write with the idea that it's like you and I are sitting down together and we're just talking, and I'm just sharing these stories, with you, and like in a living room, in a bar, whatever. We're just sitting across from each other and we're just chatting. And there's interesting stories in here. Of course, there's little trials and tribulations. There's some gossip, but you got to fess up to what you did as a kid. But this doesn't reflect on who these people are now. I mean, this is written for a decade of the '90s, back when we were all young kids. You got to remember, back then we didn't have DVDs. There was no Twitter. There was no real internet. Back in '88 when we started, there was no. People couldn't just iPod phone instantly put you up to YouTube and TMZ's waiting for you. I mean, like, we didn't have all that. Hormones blazing, making a lot of money. Living these rock star lifestyle, all the Shannon Doherty, scandals that went on, and Gary Coleman hitting some lady in the store, and Mike Tyson punching someone on the street, and then you got River Phoenix in the Viper Room, and I was there for all of this. In LA, this was the time. This was what happened. So, these people who think, oh, well, he's just out there to write bad things about others. I put myself under the bus just the same as everything else. Any faux pas I made. And it's got good times in it, too, A lot of the good times, bad times. For fans, I wrote a lot of stuff on the interesting part of the technical side of it, how the shows are put together, what goes into the work week, what long, grueling hours it takes to put, one show together that, when you see it as a public, is 22 minutes without commercials.
Now, I have to say, I put out on Twitter today, I'm interviewing Dustin Diamond, do you have any questions? And everyone came back, asked him, and this is so different than, from what my experience with you is ask him why he's a douche, ask him why he's a tool.
See, that's the thing, that's the Celebrity Fit Club. Everybody, people say, do you regret Saved by the Bell? No, I regret Celebrity Fit Club. That was the show because everybody thinks it's real. Everybody thinks that what they saw in that show was real. I did it to try and break the Screech image. Apparently, I'm a pretty good actor. I mean, I don't know if I should be flattered or, none of those shows are just give you, total free reign. And, let's put it this way. I've been in the business 24 years. I know I was groomed by NBC, the major network, in the world. I know how to handle myself. We were groomed by them how to, what to say and what not to say for affiliates and everything else. So to go on a live show and just go, I'm going to drink beer and lose weight and screw you guys and shout out all this stuff to people and really give people a hard time about weight-sensitive issues and things like that. Dude, come on. For me, I thought it was okay, well, this will be a good acting gig. This will be good, it'll be entertaining and there'll be some funny parts and shocking moments where you go, oh, I can't believe I did that, and of course you couldn't tell the other cast members, Tiffany I know real well. She knows that it was all, plotted and planned, but besides her, no one else was supposed to know. There are certain members of the cast. Like when I did the boot camp for the second season, some more of the Queen of Comedy, she knew what was up. Willie Ames, he knew that things were scripted. They did some stuff with him too. I mean, it's like there's so many parts of TV that it just baffles me that people would see it and they see the reality part and they think everything's real. The Celebrity Championship Wrestling. I mean, that was the most real celebrity thing I've done because, you butterbean jumping on you. There's no fake to that. I mean, yeah, it was planned, but man, that is butterbean jumping on you.
Well, yeah, I mean, you were great on that. And what else besides the book do you have going on?
I have a production company, and the stand-up takes a really long part of my year. I mean, I take 2 months off. 2 weeks off for Halloween, 2 weeks off for Christmas, and 1 week at my choosing. But other than that, I'm pretty much on the road, living out of suitcases in airports and hotels, and so I think that right now, I've always got something going on, but I mean, I just did the book, so now, I've got this and stand-up to deal with at the moment, and then I can start focusing on, on which direction I'm headed after this.